In this video, I'm going to show you one simple movement to build and create Qi, that's Qi, in your body. Now, Qi is a life force that's all around us and it's in us. We have this bioelectrical energy that runs through our body and it has healing properties. I'd like for you to watch to the end where I have a bonus movement. It's called cleansing Qi, where we get rid of the heavy Qi and we leave room for this beautiful high-frequency healing Qi. I'm Susan Thompson, occupational therapist, and I'm here to bring happiness and healing to your life. One of the things you need to know about Qi is that the more you try and the more you try to find it, the more elusive it becomes. So just give yourself permission to experience this and not try too hard. We'll get in a shoulder width apart stance, and we're just going to gently bend your knees a little bit, always staying within comfort. If you move into pain, then you're already disrupting that Qi flow. So let's be kind to our body and create an environment for healing. Now, what I simply want you to do is just bring your hands together, almost like you're going to do prayer hands, but then just pull them apart a little bit, so that your hands are probably about 4 to 5 inches apart. And you have a little bit of separation in your fingers, and your elbows are down. And let's bring those hands as close as you can without touching them. And then pretend that you have a magnetic field between your hands and you're pulling that energy as you pull your hands apart. And not too wide, just easy. And then as we'll push that magnetic energy now, as though that magnetic force reversed in between your hands. Good. Remember, don't touch the hands, just pull them apart. And then back together. That's it, very nice. Let's do a couple more. I can tell you're already feeling some energy. If your hands are tingling or you feel warmth, or you feel some little popping sensations, that's Qi. And if you don't feel it, that's okay too. Just nice and easy. With your hands, get them close but not touching. And then imagine you have this ball of energy or magnetic force between your hands, open and close. That's very nice. Can we do one more? Yeah. Very nice. You know, we don't need a lot of complicated movements. We don't need actually Tai Chi 73 form or complicated Qigong movements to build and feel this Qi. In fact, I will say that 95% of my students first feel Qi with that very movement. And that is one of the simplest movements, isn't it? And each time you visit this, that Qi might flow a little more and be a little easier to feel and access. Breathe in through your belly and breathe out. So we can assign a mental metaphor with this as though we're expanding and breathing in all of this beautiful energy that's all around us from the universe. And then as you compress, it's as though you're just releasing any of this heavy energy that we carry around. I really like that. So you're breathing in and opening every pore, every cell of your body, expanding and letting in that beautiful light. And then as you compress, your body still stays open, has to be open to be able to release the heavy energy. So you're not compressing your whole body. Okay? One more time. And relax the muscles, let them just sort of hang on your skeleton. Yeah, that's beautiful. And then when you finish, you'll want to gather this energy and just imagine once again that you're receiving it and allowing it to flow into your body. So you're open. And it's like a plunger. As I'm receiving this light energy, I'm gently pushing away the heavy energy and discarding it into infinity. That's very nice. I hope you may feel that chi running through your body or in your hands. Some might feel it in the feet. I think you can see in the video how red my hands are. And again, if you don't feel it the first time, don't think, oh, what's wrong with me? It's okay. You have it because you're alive. And so just enjoy the experience and use your imagination. And then one day it will happen and you will feel it. Probably the day that you give up trying to feel it. So that's a simple way of cultivating, building, and creating qi within your body. And this form is actually a Tai Chi and a Qigong form, and it's called open and close. It's so simple, but very powerful. All right, so if you've watched this far, it's time for the bonus movement, which is called qi cleansing. And throughout this movement, you're not going to touch your body, but your hand will get as close as possible to your body. So you're going to cross your hands in front of the area that's called the dantian, which is about 3 inches below your belly button and inside your body, about 3 inches. So you can imagine this beautiful, glistening ball resting inside your pelvis. And we're going to place our hands in front of it and stack the hands, once again, not touching the body. And the hand that's closest to your body, let's think that as an anchor. And so that's sort of the rooting in the heavy hand. And the other hand, imagine that it is full of light substance. So like helium maybe. And so it starts to float up as this one is, your lower one is rooted at the dantian. And bring it up through those energy centers. You can feel maybe a little bit of joy and gratitude in your heart. And then we're going to let this hand float over to the shoulder on the opposite side here. And if you'd like, you can look at it to give a little more intention, but if that bothers your neck, you don't have to. And then we're going to begin brushing away the heavy chi. So place your hand kind of close to the skin, but not touching. And allow the arm that's underneath to float and receive this energy. So it kind of moves up to receive it. And if you have a joint that is bothering you, you can kind of circle around it a little bit. And we come down the forearm. Nice. And the wrist. And I'm going to float my hand up to receive at the knuckles. So if you have arthritis, you might just hang out a little bit more at the hand and the joints. Whew, boy, I feel that energy. And once you get to the fingertips, we're just going to let it go. Sending away all that brushed, heavy energy that we brushed away. Very nice. And then we'll come back. And now we're going to reverse that so that the other hand is anchoring at your dantian. So you've switched it. So the anchor hand stays rooting you and the other arm floats up. And I like to really have some intention in my energy centers there. When I get to the heart, go ahead and let it expand. And feel gratitude and joy and elevated emotions. And if that's hard for you, sometimes that's kind of normal. So again, don't force it. And then we'll come across to the shoulder. And my left shoulder has some prior injuries, so I'm just going to move that energy a little bit. And then you'll begin to brush that heavy energy away. Your hand not touching the body. Into the elbow. Very nice to the wrist. And my hand floating up to the knuckles. Very strong energy. And then just discard all that heavy energy. And then we'll do our gathering chi. And allow this high frequency, light energy, it's infinite, it's all around us. Let it flow into your mind for peace and tranquility. And into your throat so that you can speak your truth. And into your chest for love and gratitude. And into your upper abdomen. That's where our cortisol centers are back there. To bathe it with calmness. And throughout your entire body for strength, health, balance, and immunity. I'd like to thank you for being here, and if you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment. In fact, if there's something that you want me to make a video about, I'd really appreciate it if you put that down in the comments, because that helps me to know what your pain point is or what you would like to learn. And thank you so much for being here.